Welcome to the Tool Review channel. Today we're taking a look at the ChannelLock number 957 wire strippers that ChannelLock has to offer. So to start off the video here, you can see you have your traditional dipped style of ChannelLock handles right here. And you can see on the handle you have the ChannelLock name stamped on there. You have Made in the USA as well, and then you also have your product number right there as well, which is nice. And you also have this weird design for the handles, and it actually fits quite well in your hand, especially if you're going to be using this tool quite a bit. And then coming up to here, you can see you have your spring, you have your lock right there as well, and you have safety warning right here, always wear safety goggles, and the cutters on here is mainly meant for cutting copper wire only. Don't go trying to cut hard steel wire with these, because you're 9 times out of 10 going to end up damaging the cutting edge on there as well. And then if you come up to here, you can see you have your 632 and your 832 screw cutting holes right there. And that's basically, you have to thread the screw in to the amount of length you want to cut, and then you just cut it to the length that you threaded in. And then you have your 2 looping holes right here, so for stranded or solid. And then you have the AWG stranded right there on this side. It tells you the different sizes of wire you can strip with this tool. So for the solid side, you can strip from 10 to 18 gauge solid wire, and then for stranded, you can strip 12 to 20 gauge stranded wire. And then at the little top, like on most wire strippers that are stamped, you have a little pair of pliers up there as well if you need to, bend a wire, or you need to pull a terminal off of something, or if you just need to hold something, you could use those little tiny pliers right there to do so. Now this one has a little lock, which is nice, and you just move that lock out of the way, and the tool will spring open. And as you can see right there, that is kind of more comfortable to hold in your hands than if they were just too straight. So it's a weird design, I will say, but it does feel great in the hands. So we'll go ahead and lock that guy back up, and we'll turn to the back side of the tool, which is pretty much the same side. It would have been nice to see them stamp it on the back side, the wire gauges, just in case the laser etching on the front wears off. You can always revert to the back if you need to know which stripping hole does what. That would have been nice, but they just laser etched the back right there. And obviously, on most wire strippers, they always come with a warning to never use them on a live circuit. But now, enough of the detail on the tool. We'll get to some of the functionality of the tool there. So we'll go ahead and zoom out there, and we'll get to some of the functionality of the tool. So we're going to first start off with some 18 gauge solid wire. So for the 18 gauge solid wire, it's going to be that hole all the way at the top of the pliers. And we're going to go ahead and line that guy up right there, and we'll go ahead and strip it off right there. And as you can see, it has no problem whatsoever stripping that insulation off of the wire right there. And like I said, you could use these little tiny pliers up here if you need to make a loop or something with the wire to make a loop. Obviously, that's a pretty bad loop right there. I didn't, follow all the way through, but if you need to make a loop, you're able to do that as well. And the cutter is super smooth as well. So we'll go ahead and strip that 18 gauge wire one more time. As you can see right there, it has no problem whatsoever stripping that insulation off that 18 gauge wire. So we'll go ahead and set that off to the side, and we'll bring in our next wire, which is this 14 gauge stranded wire. So for the 14 gauge stranded wire, it is going to be the second hole from the bottom. So we'll go ahead and line that guy up, cut that insulation, and you should be able to pull off that insulation, as you see right there. No problem whatsoever, and there is absolutely no damage done to the wire at all. And it actually strips off that insulation fairly well. It doesn't tear or anything. It actually makes quite a clean cut, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and cut that off, and we'll go ahead and do that one more time. So we'll go ahead and pull off that insulation. As you can see right there, no problem whatsoever. And we are able to cut it nice and smooth as well. So we'll go ahead and get that stuff out of the way and bring on our final wire, which is the 12 gauge stranded wire. So obviously 12 gauge stranded wire, we're going to be using that very bottom hole next to that cutting edge. And we'll just go ahead and cut that off, or go ahead and strip that off right there. And as you can see right there, you are able to strip off that insulation, no problem whatsoever. And it does a fairly decent strip right there as well. So we'll go ahead and do that one more time. As you can see right there, we are able to pull off that insulation no problem, and you are able to cut it no problem whatsoever. So overall, these are definitely a nice pair of wire strippers from ChannelLock. Now, I'm not 100% sure if ChannelLock themselves produces these, or if someone in the United States, like an OEM, just produces them and everyone, just sticks their name on them. Because if you look at these, I believe these are the Ideal Reflex T strippers, which I've previously reviewed on the channel. The design is almost exactly the same. Obviously, these have a dipped handle, but the design and the way that the grips and stuff are molded on there, it's relatively the same. The locks are pretty much the same. So everything is pretty much the same on the tool. It's just one has blue handles and one has yellow handles. And I feel like this one is a little bit better than the Ideal brand, but I'm not sure really who makes them. So obviously, I'm not sure. It's obviously not a ChannelLock design. They just, either they make them and rebrand them for other people or for Ideal, or there's just an OEM and, ChannelLock and Ideal just rebrand them with their names on them. But overall, these are definitely a nice pair of wire strippers with that ChannelLock has to offer. As you saw, they have no problem whatsoever stripping that insulation off of the wires. It does it smooth, and there's no damage done to the wire whatsoever. Now, my one complaint with these is you can't find them in the store, or at least I haven't been able to find them in the store. It would be nice to see them carry them in the store. I had to buy these online. That would have been a little bit nice for ChannelLock to offer them to some of their in-store retailers. Maybe that's just around where I live. Maybe you are able to find these in your local ChannelLock retailer, but at least for around me, I can't find them. So that's really my only complaint with these. Can't find them in the store. And these also carry a limited lifetime warranty. I'll leave a link to ChannelLock's warranty page down in the description if you want to read up more on that, see what it does cover and doesn't cover. But that's really about it for this review. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you are new to the channel and you would like to see more content like this, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll help the channel out a lot. But that's all I have for this video, so thank you for watching. And as always, stay tuned for the next video to be uploaded.